I know. Actually, you just did the Knights potty,
Yeah,
which is so annoying because when I asked you, I didn't even know you had done that, and then it come out, and I was like, "Fuck, it's gonna look like I've just asked you off the back of that." So I messaged Jay, and I was like, "Oh, mate, I'm getting Shez on. I'm gonna steal your limelight," and he was like, "Oh, I had a good listen. That was good though."
Yeah, it was
Did you enjoy that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I've got a little intro for you. It's nothing too fucking hectic. Hopefully I got all my facts right, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
All right. Please welcome NRLW athlete Sheridan, previous Western Sydney Wanderers and Illawarra Stingrays, A-League representative, Matildas player, lovers of horses, both training and riding horses, and of course, Newcastle Knights player. Sheridan, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for
Give you a
having
little round of applause on myself. Lover of horses. I did read, I think it was on the Wikipedia. Could have been your Google search.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with horses or?
Yeah, I grew up with horses.
Where'd you grow up?
Down in Campbelltown.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
just a little suburb outside of that called Menangle Park, and so grew up on. I think there's 250 people in the town, so pretty much.
Oh, that's tiny.
Everyone's home was your home.
Yeah, right. Big fam? Your family?
No, there's only 5 of us. So brother and a sister, mum and dad, and we sort of grew up riding horses, and that's all I ever knew as a young kid. So I sort of went to school and played a bit of sport.
And I was saying to you before, yesterday, obviously, mad turnout for the girls at McDonald Jones. It was 12,000, I think, fans came and watched you guys. And you blitzed them. I know you saw my screenshot of the stats. I was literally at home before I was going to the game. And I was like, this is perfect. Straight after the game, all your stats are coming up. I'm like, bam, this is going to be great for the podcast. Yeah. But how'd you go yesterday? Obviously, had a good game. Feeling okay?
Yeah, it was actually really good to be back out there with the girls. And to be in front of a sort of crowd like that for a women's game is unbelievable. I don't think any club sort of does it like we do.
Nah, they don't. The Knights fans are bloody crazy. How what was the injury you had?
I tore my MCL grade 2 tear.
Yeah, okay.
Against the Dragons, in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
That game and
So what week was that? Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, right. So bounce back from that really quickly. Yeah. Obviously, initially they told you might have been out a bit longer.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. And 2 tries.
Yeah, 2
so
probably should have scored a few more.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw there was a few other opportunities there.
Yeah.
It could have been a hat trick.
Yeah.
I know Fletcher got a hat trick in the boys game as well. So it was good to see both the boys and the girls win yesterday. Which I think I don't know when the last time both of you won together, but it might have been.
It would have been last year when we played.
Might have been a little while, hey?
It's our first doubleheader, so...
Yeah, true.
Since last year.
What did you think about playing before the boys as opposed to after? Did that play a factor at all, or...?
I reckon before was better. Like, it's sort of a little intro into the men, and then, we play and hopefully bring home that win, and then it sort of, builds
amps up the crowd, everyone's rolling in.
And then we get to go out and watch the boys sort of bring it home.
Yeah, where do you sit for the boys game?
Or just right behind
Just
the
forever.
bench.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's good. I just want to go run it back. I want to run the clock right back to basically your upbringing and what it was like for you growing up and with sport and school and with your family. And as I said in your intro, like you played professional soccer before. Yeah. Do you like soccer okay or is football? Soccer's all right?
It's soccer in Australia.
All right, good. Because I've always called it soccer and then people are like, cool, football. No. Okay. You've got a history with playing professional football, soccer. Moved into rugby league. What was your upbringing like with sport and school, and did you straight away love sport? Were you more academic? What did you play when you were growing up?
Yeah. So I actually was useless at sport, believe it or not. As a kid, I had no idea. Couldn't even catch a ball.
True.
Yeah. And I used to go to my brother's soccer training and watch him play, and the coach told my mum, we need a goalkeeper. And my mum said, nah, she can't even catch a ball, can't be a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, she'll be right. Put me in. And my brother's team, they're like, gun. We didn't lose a game all year. I don't think I even touched the ball. They used to bribe me with red frogs to stay in goals because I just wouldn't get the ball. Yeah. And then obviously training with them, I picked up a few things. And then at 8 years old, I think I made my first rep team playing soccer and under 12s soccer team. And it sort of all took off from there. And then at school,
under 12s. So what school did you go to in down south?
Broughton Anglican College.
Yeah, okay.
School.
All girls or co-ed?
No, it was co-ed.
Co-ed, yeah. So one brother, older brother?
Older brother, younger sister, yeah.
Younger sister as well. What does your younger sister do?
She plays soccer still, yeah.
Does she?
Yeah.
So you started with soccer, and how many years did you play that for? Was that mainly?
Yeah, since I was 4 to last year.
Yeah, right. So the big question obviously becomes is at what point did you decide to make that transition to rugby? Because it's such a significant change, like from using, I guess, your feet only, and it's a lot more skill-based, whereas footy is probably a little bit more physical. Did you always have that love for that physical sort of battle, or was that something that you just didn't know you had in you, or?
Yeah, I was always suspended from like taking out players and being too
in
physical.
Soccer, were you?
So I just sort of, lost that love for the game, and I guess you always play sport because you love it, and I sort of lost that love for the game and just thought, I'll just have a crack at rugby league. What's the worst that happens?
Yeah. Why do you think you fell out of love with soccer? Like, do you think you were just sick of it? Were you just not enjoying it? Do you think because I think like women's, well, actually, you might be good to ask this. My opinion is that I think women's rugby is sort of taking over in Australia a little bit. Obviously, the Matildas boomed like the last couple of years with how well they did in the international scene. But over the last few years, I've really seen a massive uprise in the NRLW football, rugby league. The fans, the teams, increasing the amount of teams. The quality of football too. Yeah. I feel like the girls' game has become a lot more entertaining. And it's like something now that I actually enjoy watching the girls play, especially because living in Newcastle, massive boys' nights town, and now we've got the girls team who have gone back to back, 22, 23, and brought so much success to the town. What has it been like? What's it been like for you over the last couple of years, just learning about rugby league and falling in love with that as a sport?
Yeah, I guess I always grew up watching rugby league, and I think most kids do in Australia. Like, you walk into any given pub and, no doubt it's on the TV. So, I sort of fell in love with it from a young age. But I think, since coming here and playing rugby league, like the first time I actually sat down and watched the NRLW game was I think when their first year they won in 22, and I watched the girls win and lift the trophy, and I was like, fuck, that'll be sick one day to lift that trophy.
I can't believe how quick the turnaround's been. Like, I thought you had played a bit longer. So it's only been, is this your third season?
No, second.
Second season?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Tell me about life in the gym versus the training you did for soccer versus rugby. Yeah. Is it a lot more?
I always used to get kicked out of the gym when I was playing soccer.
Did you?
Yeah, they would.
Because you weren't doing it, or?
No, because I was they don't like you being heavy and lifting heavy weights.
True.
So I'd always get a little tap on the shoulder and that's enough for you outside.
Yeah.
And I would just be filthy with it because I love going to the gym. And then when I come to Newcastle, I was like, oh, this is sick. No one's tapping me on the shoulder going, get out
just
of here.
Smashing
bench
weights.
Press anymore, yeah.
Who were some of your mates initially when you moved into Newcastle that you made friends with early on?
Yeah, well, I didn't know anyone when I come up here, and
that's
I was
tough.
A little bit.
How was that? What was that like?
Yeah, look, it was scary. Yeah. We moved into the Quest up on Hunter Street in Newcastle.
Good. Yep.
And there was 8 girls there, and I was like, wow, surely I can make one friend here.
Yeah.
And, those 8 girls are probably my best mates now. They're all still here.
Are they all Knights girls?
Yeah.
So you were all living there, so the Knights will put you up there, obviously.
Yeah,
okay. Are you still there?
No, I moved
now.
One block over.
Yeah. Big move. One block. Yeah. Move next door. So you like that area?
Yeah.
Okay. So who were some of the girls that you met first up? What were some of your first impressions on the girls and that?
Yeah. Leishon, Albert Jones.
Yeah.
I actually played with her at Mounties the 2 games that I had before I come across to the Knights.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I sort of, I knew her name and said hello to her a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the first one I met. Then Abigail Roach.
Yeah, Roachy.
Yeah, and they were, they're probably
initial mates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were playing in the A-League, what were the girls like in the team that you're playing there? Are they much the same as the rugby girls, or are they different? Or
yeah, it's so different.
Really?
It's 2 different worlds.
Yeah, right. What's it like? What's the differences?
Everything's real serious. No one has fun. No one has a laugh. It's all real cutthroat. No one's you don't really have that many good mates. They're all just trying to stab you in the back and and then when I come across rugby league, it's everyone's your best friend and you're genuinely happy for someone when they're debuting.
Yeah. A bit more genuine.
Yeah, or even when I was injured and the young girls that sort of stepped up in my spot, I was genuinely, it was a proud mum moment
happy.
that they're playing. And you get
Who's
to see
your
them
little
play.
winger? Who's the other winger? Younger. Is she 18?
Yeah, Lily White.
Yeah, she's going well. Hey,
Yeah, she's a freak.
good on her.
Awesome kid.
Yeah. Okay, so would you say it clicked pretty quickly for you moving here, like meeting the girls, and then the coach? What was his name?
Ronnie.
Yeah. How was he?
It was unreal.
Is he still coaching, or is they got
he's
Benny?
With Cup. Yeah, he's with Cup now.
That's right.
Ben Jeffries now. So.
Benny Jeffries is in there now. Yeah. What are some of the differences between the coaches you've noticed, without throwing them too much under the bus?
Ronald was like he's a really good people person.
Yep.
Really got to know his players and what they liked and didn't like. I guess sort of that's a big part of his game as a coach and how he sort of coached. And then BJ, I really get along really good with him, and he likes, he sort of brings out the best in you as a player. And that's what I probably like.
I can't believe you're going back to back winning. What's it been like playing in a club that's like? Because last year for you winning the premiership, what was that whole experience like? Like in terms of in your life, like milestones, is that up there or?
It would honestly be sitting at the top.
Is it?
Just
hard number one.
Like when you win and you get on that bus back to Newcastle, like a 3-hour trip, I don't think's ever gone so quick in my life.
True.
And then just absolute carry on the bus.
The girls have copped a bit of flack for how he's carry on after wins and that. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think we're all human.
I reckon it's fucking sweet.
I think we're all human.
I reckon it's play on.
The cheeky beer
I don't reckon. Mate, I love seeing your celebrations, putting the shades on, having the beers, singing the team song. Like you gotta. I think people are pretty negative sometimes with that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I think they just take shots just for the fun of it, But I love it. I love seeing you girls fucking rip in and have a dig and get the beers flowing and all that sort of stuff. I think is so good, especially for the town. And it's just good to see you have built such a. It looks to me like a really good team bond, where you all respect, love each other. Yeah. What's Tamika Upton like playing with? I've never met her, obviously, but she's a bit of a gun.
Yeah.
What's she like just being a part, working with her?
Yeah. When I first came, I was like a young kid and I wanted to play fullback, and I was probably like, I knew I was out of my depths there trying to take her spot. But she sort of come to me and was like, like, it's not my spot. The spot's open. If you're better than me, you'll play in that spot. And I was like, fuck, like she's a top shelf human. Like, not too many people would walk up to someone and be like,
say it's there for the taking, basically.
But like, she's just like genuinely like a top shelf human. Like,
is she?
Like, we have a little outside backs group chat, and she's like always pumping information in there for us. And like, I'm just like a sponge for her. I'm a little bit in awe of being around her and being able to play with a player like that. I don't think we'll see too many players like that in the women's game.
Yeah, so she won back-to-back player of the final. Yeah. What's the medal called?
Karen Murphy.
I had that written down. Sorry. And obviously Dally M last year as well. What are some things you've learnt from her in terms of a playing aspect? Yeah,
I think just her IQ on the field. Honestly, like, I don't think you can teach what she's got. I think she just got it.
Yeah.
Like, to even pick up a little bit of those things is unbelievable. And even just like her game management, she's just like a real. She probably won't like me saying this, but like a real old soul on the field.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
She doesn't
steers the ship, steadies everyone. Yeah. She's not a big unit, but is she?
Nah, she's not too
but she's quick.
Oh, so quick.
So quick. Yeah. Because I guess when I watch her play, like, growing up, I played a bit of touch footy in that, and she looks like she's got that real touch footy skill to her. I don't know if she's played touch or not.
She played for Australia for touch.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Bit of a freak.
There you go. How good's that to be able to transition from touch footy Australia to rugby league? It's just like a recipe for. You see so many athletes now who play touch footy to a high level, and to use some of that skill to rugby league. Like, I think it's pretty handy. Yeah. And she's obviously been a big part with some of your success over the last 2 years, but last year with you in particular. What's she been doing well this year, do you think? Do you think she's continuing to evolve as a player, or?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think obviously teams are going out doing their film on her, and we sort of spoke about it this week. Like, it's not going to be the same. If we're going to win again, we've got to do something different. And I think she's just evolved her game as, you know, sort of stepping up as a real leader and sort of bringing her knowledge to the forefront for us younger girls.
I really wanted to ask you, this is one of the first things I had written down was like your game day. I want you to take me through like your full like game day procedure. If you have any like superstitions or if you do anything funny on game day, what's your normal game day like?
Yeah, well, I used to have like, I don't know, a little sleep in, not too late, like 8 o'clock, get up.
Oh, that's all right.
Go down to the beach for a swim,
a
walk and a coffee. Then go have breakfast with the girls. There's about maybe 10 of us that go and have breakfast, and we probably order the same thing every time. Mine's pancakes and bananas.
Nice.
And then...
Where are you going for brekkie?
Surf House.
Oh, true. Down the bottom there on the water.
It's good.
Pancakes are right there?
Yeah,
I haven't really given it a chance down there. Maybe I'm missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out. It's good feed.
So all the girls go down there. Yeah. Big group chat. Let's go down. Pancakes are on.
Talk shit.
Yep.
Coffees are flowing.
Yep.
And I'd probably go for another swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 swims.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Do you just swim down like from there, or do you go to the baths, or?
Well, just if the waves are too big, I'll jump in the baths.
Yeah.
The waves are right. Jump in.
Yeah.
Get my hair wet. Jump out.
Yeah.
Go home, have a shower, iron my suit. I think that's probably one thing. Like, I cannot have a crease in my shirt.
Wow,
no
ironing
crease.
the suit.
Stand there for ages.
Do ya? Yeah. How long does that take you?
I would say a good half an hour just to iron one shirt.
Is there any of the girls who are pretty hopeless with like getting their kit sorted?
Yeah, and they come in all crinkled, and I just go.
Are you OCD, Bart, or are you just suit OCD?
Yeah, probably just suit OCD.
Okay, so you spend a bit of time, get your suit, get your kit ready.
Yeah.
Pack your bag, I would imagine as well.
Well, my bag's packed the night before.
Is it?
Like, yeah. A bit weird like that, eh?
Packed the bag the night before.
Yeah.
Is that just because you're just organised? Like, are you someone who makes your bed every morning?
Well, I don't make my bed, no.
Don't ya?
No,
but you pack your bag the night before.
Yeah.
What are you packing in your bag?
Just me boots, me kicking tee.
Yep.
Me sunnies.
Sunnies, true. Got to have your sunnies.
Yeah.
Who's the sunnies brand?
Pit Viper.
Pit Viper. Give me a little plug. Pit Viper, if you're watching there, mate. Hit us up with some sunnies, would ya? Because I think they look pretty good. So Pit Viper sunnies. Boots are in. Mouth guards in.
All my grip socks. Yeah,
grip socks are in. How was your kicking yesterday? Just off topic. No good. No, but it's pretty windy though.
So windy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I'd line it up, I'd step back and then I'd just watch the tee wobble like this.
Oh shit!
This is going good.
What do you hit little draws, little fades? What's your approach? You're just going straight. Yeah. Okay. What are you thinking in terms of the wind when you're kicking? Like, are you trying to adjust for the wind? Are you?
Yeah, sometimes I do, but then yesterday it was just like. Just
fucking free for all.
Yeah.
You could have been in front. It would have been. Yeah. It was. I guess you probably have those days, especially with kicking.
Yeah.
Have you always kicked?
Well, I've always kicked. I guess growing up playing soccer, you sort of got that natural full eye coordination. I know it's a different ball, but it's sort of
same sort of thing though, right? Yeah. So you took over that duty last year?
No, only just yesterday.
First time. Yeah. Are you going to continue? Wasn't a good debut, was it, with the boot?
No.
I hope they don't axe you. Surely they keep you kicking.
Surely they'll get a second chance.
Surely. Everyone deserves a second chance. So, I wanted to ask you a little bit about some adversity, I guess. I think a lot of people want to hear about some challenges maybe you've faced. And that could just be growing up as a person, family, sport, work, whatever. Do you have any standout challenges or anything that you've gone through that sort of helps you to get where you are maybe now?
Yeah, for sure. I think, the biggest one for me was at 16, I lost my dad.
Yeah.
And, growing up as a young kid and, I sort of looked up to him so much and he was probably a big reason as to why I played sport and why I was so successful in what I did. And to lose him at 16, the next 2 years after that, I probably really wasn't on the straight and narrow. And I was pretty lucky to have good people around me that sort of helped me get back on track.
16 is a tough age too because that's just the age you're just trying to figure yourself out. And I think for me in particular as well, like 14 to 16 was probably the age that you probably dabble in things maybe you shouldn't. You're figuring out who your friends are, who you want to be. I can't imagine what that would have been like for you. Looking back on that now, is there anything that you would have changed, I guess, in handling the emotions, or it's just something you just can't really prepare for, really?
Yeah, it's definitely not something you can prepare for, but I think actually reaching out for help and accepting that it's okay for help. I think that was a big one for me. I didn't really accept that it was okay to ask for help until I was probably 20, and I think that was, 4 years too late for me, and I probably could have been on track a lot quicker than what I was.
Interesting.
So I think, really reaching out for help and that stigma that, asking for help is actually okay, not like you're not weak to speak out. I think for me that was a big one.
Do you think, is it ego, do you think? Like, why do you think it's so hard for people to struggle to ask for help?
I think it is because I know like what I was like as a kid, and I was like, I'm invincible, no one's going to hurt me. And I think that my dad always used to say to me, he said, like, you'll meet your match one day, and
that's a great saying.
Might not be a person, but something will match you. And I think that was definitely my match, and it really brought me back down to earth. And
wow.
I think it wasn't until I actually reached out and sort of sat there and looked and gone, like, I could have been, in a way better place, sort of even 2 years ago if I had sort of accepted the help. Yeah,
wow, that's so interesting. Hey. Any other challenges in the sport arena that you can think of that comes to mind?
Yeah, I think I've been pretty lucky with injuries, but I did break my back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think, when was it? Start of, what are we in, 24? Start of 21.
Yeah.
And I'd just been told that I was going to a World Cup as well, and I had like 8 weeks to be back.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like...
How'd you break your back?
Oh, I got kicked by a horse.
Kicked by a horse?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's that will fucking break your back, all right. Yeah. What, were you just not expecting it, or what?
I was actually just walking past, and I was leading one in this hand.
Yeah.
And there was one tied up at the rail behind me, and like this horse spun around. As I turned around to have a look, I just seen 2 feet coming at me, and boom, see you later. Dropped me to my knees.
So was 21 the year that you made the Matildas team? Is that right?
Yeah.
21.
The Young Matildas, yeah.
So did you play games with them?
I went to a World Cup, with the Young Matildas.
Yeah. So tell me. Oh, I want to hear about this. What was that like? Where did you play overseas?
Costa Rica.
Yeah. Wow.
Sick.
Costa Rica.
Even the build up to it was unreal. Like, I think we went to maybe 6 or 7 different countries before it.
Shit. Yeah. What was your team like there? Like, was pretty good?
Yeah, we were alright.
How many games did you play?
We were the youngest team there.
Please.
Yeah. I think we played... Well, at the World Cup, we only played 3 because we got knocked out. But
yeah. Who were the teams you played in the World Cup?
Brazil, Spain, and Costa Rica.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Brazil, Spain. Yeah, it's not ideal.
not
an ideal start. Brazil, Spain's like
Spain went on to win it, and Brazil come 3rd.
Oh, there you go. That's not ideal.
Nah.
Shit. What was was being a Matilda, like, that's a pretty big deal in Australia, a young Matilda. Like, was that, how'd you go adjusting to that fact and that success and things? Was that a bit of a shock for you? Like,
I think it was a bit hard, like, especially when you grow up playing with friends and that's their dream and their goals as well. And like I said before, the soccer culture is not the best culture, and like I sort of lost friends, I guess, making that instead of, being happy for your mates and seeing them achieve their goals.
Do you reckon, like, well, obviously soccer's more like international sport, would you say?
Yeah.
Was that ever something you were thinking about doing, having to move overseas potentially, or?
Yeah, I actually went to college when I finished school.
Did you?
Yeah, so I was like fresh 18, finished school.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, still finding my feet.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
Mississippi.
Holy shit. Yeah. How long did you live there for?
I was there for 6 months, and then COVID happened, so they were like,
you had to come back.
Yeah, I had to come home. So who knows where I'd be now.
So what was the plan going to be there? That's so crazy.
It's like a full tournament, like, well, not tournament, it's like a full season.
College soccer in the US.
It's like proper, like what you see in movies is
like dorm styles, like fraternities and
like frat parties and
far out. You've had a nuts couple of years.
Yeah.
So COVID fucked you. You could still be there.
I probably could be.
You probably would be.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason, right? It's pushed you to where you are now with the Knights girls. And what was America like? So it was a short-lived time, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it something you'd ever want to do again? Would you, like going trips or?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been back to America since, just playing, well, obviously through sport and.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, if there's young kids like out there aspiring to be athletes and, they sort of want to have an experience in life too, I honestly think that's the best pathway.
Go to college.
Yeah.
You reckon in the US?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, I mean, I'm not here to advocate for partying.
No, true.
But like,
you've got to be realistic though,
Yeah, like, we're all human, like I said before, and like we used to travel as a squad of 30. Like didn't matter where you went or where the games were. You'd go in a squad of 30.
Yeah.
And the night before games, if you didn't play, they had like this little squad. And they were like the SEAL squad.
SEAL squad.
And they'd go out the night before a game and they'd, you know, go have a beer with the coach and have a little, you know, sit down and chat, and then they'd scout for places to go after the game.
Wow.
It was like proper sick, and I never got to be a part of it, and I was actually heaps jealous that I couldn't be a part of that when I was playing.
Yeah, wow.
And, you know, like they'd bring some pretty cool.
Mississippi. So where is that in America exactly?
Like right in the middle down the bottom, near the border.
So south, right down the bottom. Yeah, right. So you're only there for a very short time, and then COVID hit you.
Yeah, and I come home and I spent 2 weeks in a hotel in Sydney.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So you're one of those people.
Yeah, I was.
What was that like?
It was shit.
It was shit?
Like staying at the Meriton.
Any push-ups? Any walking around the room like everyone was doing? Or
I was like running back and forth from the window to the door. Yeah, I was losing it.
Oh my God. So you're one of those people who had to go through that thing. Yeah. So I know looking from the outside, I was like, there was people who you knew were coming in from overseas or traveling who had to self-isolate in the hotels and that. What a fucking nightmare.
Shit. And the food was woeful.
Was it?
Yeah.
Little Uber Eats, door deliveries, or what were they doing?
Oh, no, it was like the hotel would cook food, but because it was like bulk.
Oh, my God.
Like slops every day.
Oh, fuck. That's the worst too. Yeah, it's like
so bad.
When things are against you, the one thing you want that good to be, it's just like some good tucker.
Yeah.
At least something that tastes right or it's half healthy.
Yeah. So
you're not feeling like an absolute piece of shit. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So you went over to the US, COVID hit. Wow. It's crazy to think on where you would be if COVID didn't hit.
Yeah.
Whether you'd still be playing soccer over there.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the goal moving over there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, it's like the basketball. So every sport over there has a draft. So you do like your college and then go into a draft and you get drafted to be professional over there. And
what's the pay like for professional women's soccer in America?
I think there's this equal pay now.
Yeah, righto.
4 years ago they got that passed. And
yeah, wow.
Got equal pay, so that's pretty good.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Speaking of equal pay, I do want to ask you about your opinion on the growth of women's rugby in Australia.
Yep.
What do you think has been some of the major reasons as to why the NRLW is growing, and what's your opinion on the women's rugby at the moment, where it stands?
Yeah, I think they've, the NRL's actually got it right. They haven't expanded it too quick, and I think that, AFL, I think, expanded way too quick, and the quality's just not there. And I just think, like, even women in sport, there's not enough of us, so to be like, it'll just be a full circle thing. Like, rugby will be taken from AFL, AFL will be taken from rugby, and then you'll have take some soccer players and netball players, and I think that's where NRL sort of got it right. They've only got so many teams. They're building the pathways. You've got 17s, 19s, and a reserve grade comp for us, and I think that's the only way we're going to get better is if we keep building those and making them stronger each year, and not expanding our comp too quick. Obviously, I'd love to play more games, and I think probably that's the next step. Not add more teams, add more rounds.
More rounds, yeah. Physically, do you think that's something you guys will be able to handle pretty easy?
Yeah, I think it would be something we'll be able to handle.
Yeah.
Sort of now, we're taking up 6 months of our year now playing. I think if you add, small bits at a time and not increase it by, dramatic, 10 rounds and just add
I think a lot of people looking in probably don't understand the physical demand a season of footy takes on your body. Yeah. What was last season like? We'll use last year for example, physically for you. Like, how are you pretty fucked for the next few days after the game?
Yeah, I think especially last year because I'd only played 2 games of rugby league ever before I moved up here.
Yeah.
So I was like, every time I'd go to train, I'd be doing tackling, and I'd be waking up every morning going, I
so sore.
I'd roll out of bed, and I'd be so sore. But I think in the off season, I just still played a lot of rugby league and went up to Brisbane to play and sort of conditioned myself to be better and ready for that this year. And I think this year, obviously, we was still sore a couple of days after the game, but the soreness I experienced last year was nothing.
How much of rugby did you know before you started? For you, did you understand the technicals behind it, or was it pretty much just fucking get it and run hard?
I had no idea. Right. I would just catch it and run at the forwards, and the girls would be like I could match it with them because I'm obviously not a normal size swing.
No, you're a unit.
But the girls would be like, why do you keep running at forwards? Run it a little half.
Did you play any rep footy last year, rugby?
No, but I was in the Origin like squad thing.
Yeah, that's obviously the Blues camp.
Yeah.
What's the story this year? Has that been?
Yes.
So next year you might be a Smoky.
I hope so.
Yeah, I reckon you're a big chance with your form. I think you're a big chance.
I hope so.
If you stay injury free, I think you're a big chance. I like how you said that they've invested in, going back to what we're talking about, sorry. Well, they've invested well within the junior programs, and that's forced a high skill level of people coming through, which is why the games are probably entertaining and it's good footy. Yeah. This is a bit judgmental, but like I've watched a little bit of AFLW, like occasionally, and like I've seen some pretty dreadful stuff. Like I know it's a bit of a pop at them, but I have seen some really poor like performance. Yeah. What do you think are some of the differences between AFL and NRL that you've seen?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, I think they went too quick too early, and sort of trying to backtrack now. Like I know they have junior programs in place, but I don't think they're as strong as what they could be from a junior level learning the sport. And I think that's where rugby league has got it right. Like you can go to any club now and sort of guarantee to find yourself 3 or 4, female teams in that club, and then they'll go on to, an NRL club. And, I think actually in New South Wales, I'm pretty sure all NRL clubs have a women's junior pathway.
That's so good. How good's that?
Players. So it's just building the skills that, the girls might get to 18 and they might not be NRLW now, but they've got those skills and foundation that by the time they turn 22 and they've, grown up and grown into themselves, like you don't forget how to ride a bike.
How old are you?
22.
22. Yeah. Fuck. That's crazy. You're a fucking beast. On the back of that as well, and this is something I think, being a previous professional athlete with soccer and things, probably just understanding, I guess, the influence you have maybe on like the youth fans, and I think a lot of people probably don't understand the pressure that comes with being an athlete. And also the responsibility as well, making the right decisions in public, giving your time to other people, being a role model, which means anything you do, like it's on you. If you make mistakes, you're going to get hit a lot harder than your average Joe. What are some of the, like, in terms of being a role model, like what does that mean to you, like for young kids? Because as you know, like girls now growing up, once upon a time, I don't think they had ambitions to play rugby league, maybe as much as it is now. It's obviously changed a lot, but how important do you think that is? And being a role model for so many young girls, like how good do you think that is for like the youth and things?
I think it's so good for, young kids to not sort of, I think, even when I was growing up, there wasn't too many idols that you could look at and go, yeah, I really want to be like her. And I think now for them growing up, there's so many good people out there that they can sort of look up to and see.
100%.
I think it has a really big impact on the way society is forming these days in young girls, that it's not that, society norm that girls have to wear a dress and sort of paint their nails and just sit on the sideline at their brother's sport on a weekend. They can actually get out there and throw the jersey on and some boots on and run around in the mud too.
That's so good, because like I was just thinking, I think a lot of young girls probably in the past would have been inspired by people like Miley Cyrus and actors and singers, and now you can see like young girls who want to be like NRLW stars. They want to play rugby, and I think that's so important, because not every girl out there is built the same. Not every girl wants to do your typical girl things. So having people like you and Tamika and a lot of the women's athletes in rugby now, I think it's so good to give young girls that opportunity and just give them the choice that they don't need to follow the typical framework for young girls growing up. You don't have to become a fucking lash technician or, a hairstylist or teacher or, work in the human sciences. You can play physical sport, and even on top of that, you can play physical sport and you can fucking do it well, and people are going to enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I think it's like really good. I walk around the footy fields now just near home, just on a Sunday, and there's so many girls running around playing sort of even in the boys' teams, and I think that's so cool to see. I think obviously we've got a long way to go with, women having their own teams. But I think, actually being allowed to play with the boys is sort of what develops us even better as women athletes.
Yeah, so you're not opposed to that as such for the young ones?
I grew up playing with boys, and I think it just makes you tougher and a lot more resilient. And when someone, I think for me, it sort of really ignited that flame when someone goes, oh, there's a girl on the team, we'll beat them today. I think that really ignites that flame for you. That's
probably a good segue to ask you, at what point do you think that crossover becomes a bit much though? Because I think, as you know, like a physical build of like a fucking big unit bloke versus a big unit chick, there is noticeable difference. Yeah. So at what age do you think maybe you need to draw a line in the sand there?
Yeah, I think it depends what sport you're playing. Like even when I was playing soccer, like we were like first grade women, and we'd, go back and play a game against the 16-year-old boys, and physically you can match it with a 16-year-old boy, and I was probably only 18 years old at the time. And
yeah,
it's not that much of a physical sport, but if you're talking rugby league, like I don't want to be coming up against someone like Tyson Frizzell trying to tackle him because I'd get run over. But I think it's just, goes on to different sports, but I think I'd say probably 12.
Yep, 12 is a good age.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think so. A bit of puberty, a bit of armpit hair, a bit of this and that, a few growth spurts, bit of ball hair, a bit of fluff on the nuts.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely when there needs to be some sort of separation. But as you said, I think for a lot of young women, there's nothing better than failing and probably being beaten, because it makes you tougher. Yeah,
I think for sure. Like I used to love when our coach would be like, oh, on Friday we're going to play against this, 16 boys. And I'd be like, oh, yeah. And the boys would turn up, they'd be heaps cocky, and then you do actually get a win against them, or you only lose 1-0, and the boys come off the field and they're like, they won't even shake your hand, they're like, fuck, we nearly got beat by girls, or fuck, we nearly got beat by girls, type thing. So I think it goes, good in both ways.
Definitely. Makes the boys want to perform better. I remember back when I was younger, I used to have this crush on this chick. When I was playing touch footy, I was obsessed with this girl, and she didn't want to bar me. She probably didn't even know I existed. And we went away on a touch carnival. This was up in Townsville. I was playing for the... Oh, fuck, I shouldn't say too much because she'll know who she is. But there was this girl I had a crush on. We used to do... The boys used to verse the girls in touch footy. Oh, yeah. And I played middle and she played middle. And she was fucking good. Like, she made Queensland and whatever. And every time we'd play against each other, it probably looked like I was letting her get through or get around me, but really she was just fucking running around me. And I remember looking back now, I think fuck, she actually was just fucking better than me. It probably looked like I was trying to let her do things, but in reality I was like, she was just fucking beating me for pace. I need to be fucking better there. Yeah. So, but that's really interesting. Actually, and off the back of that too, what's it like being in a club with a men's team as well as a women's team, sharing that, I guess, that responsibility, or sharing that the community sort of sporting field? Do you think that's good? Do you think that's sometimes is challenging? Or
I think it's good and challenging. I think it goes sort of hand in hand. I think when the boys are going well and we're going well, you can walk around town and feel the buzz. I walked around town this morning just to get a coffee, and you can sort of feel that buzz in the air. Everyone's so happy. Yeah. They want to have a chat. And
it's crazy,
newspapers flying. This is the only town I've been in where the newspapers are still read every morning, just because everyone wants to see about the sport. I grew up in Sydney, and you don't see a newspaper in sport. Everyone's on their phone. No one talks to each other. But yeah, I think it's really cool that, we can sort of complement each other, and even sharing the same facility. I think, it's so cool to have a facility like that. And
so you guys use the is it CO?
Yeah, COE.
COE. Is that, what's that like, sharing the facility? Is that like...
Oh, we don't cross paths too much, obviously, because we're working during the day and coming in after work, and the boys are in there during the day. But I think, they did a really cool thing this year, and we did a whole club sort of, training session, and, mixed in, you had the younger girls from the development, and they got to mix with us, and they thought that was so cool. And then you got the younger boys mixing with the NRL boys, and then you got us mixing with the NRL boys, and, some of those players, these kids that were there on the day, they're looking up to, that's their idols. And I think, for them to be able to go out there and have a little training session and run with them, it only ignites their flame more.
100%. It's really good they do things like that. Do you slap up with the boys? If you walk past them in the hallway, do you slap up, or is it just oh yeah? What's up, bro?
I'm not
really. What are you pretty like?
I just do like
stay in your lane,
nod,
like a little
hello and the little nod. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not asking them how their day's going, what they did in the weekend and shit like that. Just keep in your lane.
Yeah.
That's fucking so funny, eh? I always ask Kaylin about like what it's like, just like having the girls around. He always talks so highly of you and just says like it's pretty cool having you guys there, and no doubt he's quite jealous of the last 2 years for you girls, winning twice in a row. And I think that gives them a little ignition too, forces them to want to be better and want to win. And it's probably a subconscious thing where you guys are probably like help each other in that way.
I think for sure. I think last year when they made the semis and that had that home semi-final against the Raiders, like that was ridiculous. I remember sitting in the crowd going, far out, this is so cool. And I think we played the Thursday night that week. So we got like Friday, Saturday off.
Yeah.
And it was just like unbelievable to sit there and feel like that crowd. And then the following week we had a home semi and there was like, I think we had 19,000 at that home semi.
Home semi, nearly 20 grand, 20,000. Yeah. Who just played in that semi?
Broncos.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you pump them?
Yeah, we won.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I don't actually know the score. I'm not even going to try and make it up.
Who just played in the final?
Titans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That was pretty close, wasn't it? Did they nearly come back at the end?
Well, they were in front.
Yeah,
we come from behind, yeah.
Did you get a pie that day?
Yeah, I did.
One pie?
I did, yeah.
Fuck. Anytime try scorers, mate, you're fucking free cash at the moment.
No, I'm that short on the market.
I know. $1.70.
I know, it's
too short, but money's money, you know.
Yeah,
if it's short and sweet, you're going to take it. Let's talk about some future goals for you moving forward over the next couple of years, maybe with footy, maybe personally. Do you have any, I guess we'll start with personal goals moving forward, or?
Yeah, I think I started uni this year, so probably be one to finish the degree and sort of tick that off. And, I hated studying, I hated going to school as a kid, but I think, if you want to evolve as a person and sort of learn in life, it's leaning into the things you hate because that's what sort of makes you better. And I think, learning and I love learning. So I think just
what are you doing?
Teaching. PE teacher,
You'll be so good at that. You'll be a great PE teacher.
The kids hate me, but
really? What year are you in?
I only just started, so first year.
First year. So do you get to go to a few placements at schools and things? Or?
Well, I'm already at school now doing teacher's aid, so I'm sort of been amongst it, and that's what sort of.
How many hours are you doing a week with your teacher's aid?
Full time.
Full time.
Yeah.
And footy.
Yep.
Are they pretty flexible with that though, with your training and things?
They're awesome. They sort of,
they'd love having you there.
Me boss and just go, I would duck off early today, and she goes, yeah, sweet, no.
Is she cruisy?
Yes.
What's her name?
Sheridan.
Yeah, so she's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. She loved the footy?
Loves it, yeah.
Yeah, right.
True Novocastrian.
So what do you think ultimately, is that something you want to do on the side with your footy, or?
I think sort of just, tick that box and then.
Yep. Have it there.
Yeah, you're not going to play sport forever. You've only got such a short time, and sort of pick it up again, I guess, when I'm retired.
Who pushed you to do some study? Was that something you did personally, or?
Yeah, something I sort of just did personally and something within. Like, I do love learning. I think I learn a different way to most people, and I just, I'd love, especially being in the school system now and seeing kids learn. I think there's so many kids out there that don't sort of learn by the books the way I didn't learn by the books, and I think just to help those kids would be awesome.
How do you like to learn?
I love being outside and, sort of learning that way. And I think you can learn so much, even whether it is through PE or any sort of subject. You can learn just a different way. You don't have to sit down with a textbook and read and answer some comprehension questions. So true. So true.
I feel like there is a bit of a movement nowadays, though, with, the textbook way of going to school, getting a degree, work. There's definitely a little bit of something in the air. I can sense it. There's a bit of a change, and I think it's a good change because I think what people are starting to realise is that the world and life isn't just maths and English and science. Like there's other things that you need to worry about.
Yeah, for sure. So you're sitting in the classroom, the kids go, when am I ever going to use this again? And
look,
true. You're not wrong.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that.
I haven't used Shakespeare in quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I can't answer that. That's we should go do something different. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's a big commitment for you.
Yeah.
So what's your study week like at the uni?
Yeah, look, I'm actually just do the assignments and I actually do the work.
Do you? Is there lecture? Obviously, you're supposed to go to lectures and shit, or online?
Mine's all online. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I just turn it on,
bam,
walk away,
do what you
have a
need
shower,
to do.
cook dinner, come back.
Mate, but to be fair though, as a PE teacher, you obviously will know the theory, but a lot of it's the personal skills with the kids. It's the sport, teaching them to be resilient. So it's not like you're teaching bloody, maths C or, something hectic like that. Exactly. So that's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah. What's the school, sorry, you say you work at now?
Callaghan Holly.
Do you think...
Callaghan Oh, I can't even
Any
say
English? Any English? Thank you. Any Shakespearean for me? Are you talking Shakespearean?
Callaghan College.
Callaghan College. Yeah. Okay. Do you think you'd like to get a job there one day? Is it somewhere you see yourself long term, or?
Yeah. Look, I'd love to give back to them. They sort of, when I come up here, they sort of took me in and become like a real big family up there. And even today, walking in after playing yesterday with staff meeting in the morning, it's sort of the first thing that's mentioned. And even on when we won last year, they whole school turned up in Knights jerseys and did it like, I thought it was so sus. My boss messaged me and she was like, come to school just normal. And I was like, obviously.
Well, how else am I going to dress?
And then when I walked in, there was like a sea of Knights jerseys. And
did you know she was up to something? Because that's a sus text.
No, I was probably still like a bit dusty.
Yeah, okay.
It had been a week, but we
still dust.
Carried on. We carried on for like the whole week. So.
What day was grand final?
Sunday.
Sunday night. So you had.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a great question. Mad Monday, silly Sunday. Yeah. What did you do without obviously sharing with what you can share? But
so we played on the Sunday, bus back.
Yeah.
And then we went to the next.
Yeah. That's the is that where you do your dinners, like your awards and that? Yeah.
And that was like sick. Like we couldn't even. Like we hopped off the bus and there was people everywhere and they were chanting like Newcastle.
Fuck.
And you couldn't even walk through. And I just remember like I was like halfway up the bus and I could see Peter Parr get off the bus.
Oh shit!
And he was like lapping it up through the crowd.
He's frothing it.
No,
Parry.
Parry's getting into it.
Were you smashing beers in the bus home?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. What were you drinking? What's your beer of choice? Do you like beer?
Yeah, love a good beer.
What beer do you like?
Don't mind a super dry.
Yeah,
that's what we had
safe.
on the bus, but
super dries.
Love a Great Northern.
GN, original, super crisp, not fast.
Super crisp.
Yeah, go Mitty. Yeah. So that was the Sunday night.
Early out. It was
big night that night, Monday.
Then Monday was Mad Monday. We went to the Argyle.
Yeah, nice.
Sort of got locked in there, and there was like carry on in there, having a few beers, dance. We even had a DJ, so that was sick.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Are the girls pretty rowdy?
Yeah, it was.
Who was like best on for like rowdiness?
Oh, I'm gonna say Kayla Romanak, but
true.
There was a core group of us.
Yeah.
That were like, I'd say probably like pretty
best
elite.
on. Yeah. I love that. I'll tell a quick funny story about Kalen. I picked Kalen up from his Mad Monday last year, I think it was. And like obviously Mad Monday with the boys, it'd be the same with the girls, but it's like you can't leave early. Like it's a bit forbidden. Like you sort of have to just be there, get amongst it. Like you're feeling shit obviously, but you got to stay there. And I remember he texted me and he said they were at King Street, so it might have been a couple of years ago, and he texted me and he said, can you pick me up? It was like Monday, it might be like after work, 4 p.m. for me. And he was like, can you pick me up from fucking Mad Monday? I was like, yeah, like sweet. He's like, yeah, but like make sure you don't like park fucking out the front. Like make sure you park somewhere like sneaky. And I was like, yeah, like I was just thinking they're all going to be inside. Like, anyway, I pulled like up on the other side of the road and like I looked over. They all just out in the car park. They just saw me, made eyes. Then one of the boys ran over, stole my keys, and they're like, "Caelan's leaving, someone get him." And then we ended up getting stuck there for like an hour. Like, and he was so off me. He got in the car. He's like, "I fucking told you not to park anywhere near." And I was like, I thought the other side of the road would be sweet, but. It's funny how serious they take all the...
No, it is. I remember when we sat out the front, like when we left the Argyle, and we were like, there was like, they even organised a shuttle bus for us so he goes to the next place.
Yeah.
And then there was like, I'm not going to name names, but there was 2 girls and they were like, nah, we're going to go get food first.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this one before. We're going to get food.
They're smoke bombing. They're going.
So we waited there the whole time and wouldn't let them go home, so they had to get on the bus.
So perfect.
Yeah.
So they couldn't smoke bomb.
Nah.
They were being sneaky though, using the food one.
They were.
Do you have a smoke bomb? Are you a smoke bomber?
I'm usually like there to the end.
You're there to the end.
I'm usually like calling people out.
I wish I was like that, eh?
I don't can't leave.
Well, you would see me on a bender. I would go home before you, and you would probably shake your head at me and go, he's going home.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of my best like one-liners to go home. Normally it's just like, I'm just going for a piss or something. Boys, you want to be out? Like I'm just going for a piss, and then back door.
Yeah. I think
you got to be there to the end.
there's not too many times I've smoke bombed.
True.
Yeah.
So did you go again Tuesday that week? Was it?
Yeah, I think, what do we have? The keys to the city. And I just remember, like, we went to the beach in the morning and then we went and had, like, cocktails.
Yeah.
Put our bloody polos back on and had to sign autographs for 2.5 hours. And I tell you what, I was pretty sick.
Were you dust?
I was so bad and people were trying to ask questions and I just got me sunnies on.
Had the sunnies on. Yeah. It was good. Yeah, we did well. Yeah, I scored. Yeah.
And then we went back to the Gates Hotel in Adamstown and we'd actually been there all year just having like dinner because it's a mad feed up there.
Yep.
And every time we went up to the bar, like someone would just buy us a round of drinks and some shots to go with it. So we were just sitting there for hours, like carrying on. And then sort of went into the night there, and then Wednesday night was Prezzo. We went to the Prezzo, went out that night. Thursday I think was the only day we sort of had a little relax. Friday we went out.
Again.
Yeah, Saturday we just did like cruisy beers in the afternoon.
Far out. That's a massive week.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's intense. Let me ask you a couple of just random questions that I've got written down just for about the team and things. Have you had anything like embarrassing happen to you on the field, or any of the girls had anything funny, embarrassing happen to them? No, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. No.
What about what teammate would you not want to get stuck in an elevator with, and why?
Rima Butler.
Just chats your ear off, or
fucking shit and be absolutely useless in that situation.
Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
When were you stuck?
In the Philippines.
Fuck. Yeah. They're not rigid elevators over there, surely.
Yeah.
Was it dodgy?
Yeah.
How long were you in there for?
Oh, we're only there for an hour, but it was like...
That feels like fucking 10 hours.
There was no aircon.
Oh, any sweating or...?
Yeah. And there was like 6 of us in there in a small little elevator, so it wasn't ideal.
What about a guilty pleasure snack after a game? Talk to me about what you... Surely you're going somewhere. Big M, KFC after a game?
I don't really eat after a game.
Don't ya?
Like, I'm usually ripping into a beer.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, fair enough.
Straight into the beers, but on an away trip, they get grilled, and
Do they?
Actually, that would probably be it. I rip
Grill's
into
alright.
a couple of
What do you
those.
go there? Little Simon Says, HFC, or...?
Nah, simply grilled.
Simply grilled?
Simple, yeah.
That's a bit boring.
It is, but...
Safe but simple, though.
Yeah,
if it works,
wrong.
it works, hey?
Can't go wrong.
Okay. All right, well, Jacob still here?
Yeah, he's over there.
How long was that? Because I feel like we've been going for like fucking 4 hours, but... Can you... It's been an hour. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's heaps. Okay, I wasn't sure if it's been like longer or shorter. Okay, that'll wrap it up. I had a few other questions, but I'm pretty sure that we've got plenty of content for today. So as long as you're happy, Sheridan, I'm happy. But everyone, this is first ever episode of Straight BS with Bailey. Episode number 1. Sheridan's my first ever guest.
Oh,
I've just started our new series, so I can get a bit more personal with people, and I've really enjoyed today actually. So because I know, like, I see you at the gym and that a lot, but we don't obviously sit and get deep. So doing a bit of bench press. So, but no, thanks for coming on for the podcast, and thanks for sharing all your insights, and it's been lots of fun.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's
cool.
Really cool.
So I'll be on Wednesday, everyone. So make sure you tune in. I'll send you all the links. You know the drill, and obviously tag you with all the stuff too. So we'll see you next time. I don't know when that's going to be. Could be next week, could be the week after. But I think me and Sammy are going to be back next week for chapter 22 with a special guest at a venue in Newcastle. So stay tuned for that. And thanks very much, Sheridan.
Thank you.
Cheers.